That's what we're looking for. They give you that char grill.
So what's the deal about grilling over wood? Well, it's different than smoking.
Ooh, this thing did get a little smaller, huh?
It's the 1960s, sunset glow, the aroma of sizzling barbecue, and laughter in Grandpa's yard. Remember those epic family feasts? You could still taste the smoky flavor and feel the warmth of those unforgettable gatherings. Join us as we savor 20 forgotten barbecue dinners your grandpa always had on the table. Back then, barbecue oysters were always a special treat on the table, filling the air with their savory aroma. Grilled right on the half shell, they were a simple yet delicious dish that brought everyone together. A garlic butter sauce or tangy barbecue sauce was drizzled over the oysters, sometimes with a splash of white wine and a squeeze of lemon for that extra kick. The shells would pop open as they sizzled on the grill, signaling that the oysters were ready to enjoy. The juices mixed perfectly with the sauce, creating a mouth-watering combination of smoky, buttery flavors. Each bite was tender and packed with rich taste, a perfect reminder of simpler times when food was made with love and care. These barbecue oysters were more than just a meal. They were a comforting tradition, shared and enjoyed by all. In the South, barbecue frog legs were a unique highlight at family gatherings and cookouts, cherished by those who knew the secret to making them a crowd favorite. The frog legs were marinated overnight in tangy Italian dressing and absorbed rich flavors before grilling. Slowly barbecued, they take on a smoky, tender texture like chicken. Popular seasonings like sweet chipotle with a touch of coffee rub or lemon pepper give them a distinctive taste. Once cooked, the frog legs are served hot and crispy, often accompanied by dipping sauces ranging from Caribbean-style pepper to classic barbecue flavors. With the right preparation, these barbecue frog legs were more than just a novelty. They were a delicious, memorable dish that brought a special flair to any table. A true Southern tradition, they remain fondly remembered by those lucky enough to have tasted them. Grandpa's barbecue suckling pig was the highlight of family gatherings, always making an impression.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Organic pasture-raised pork.
Young pigs were slowly roasted on a pit over an open fire for hours, allowing smoke and seasonings to penetrate the meat. Eastern North Carolina's vinegar-based barbecue sauce was injected into the ham and shoulders, giving each bite a tangy, savory kick. Grandpa's special rub of salts and peppers coated the pig, ensuring deep flavor. As the pig roasted, it was mopped with a sauce to keep it moist and flavorful. The slow 6-hour roasting process produced crispy skin, the prized part of the dish. When the pig was ready, it was carved up and family and friends eagerly dug into the tender, juicy pork. This wasn't just a meal, a cherished tradition, a mouth-watering masterpiece that brought everyone together and made every family barbecue unforgettable. Smoked bison ribs offered a healthier take on the classic barbecue, but their rich, smoky flavor made them unforgettable. The magic began with a simple dry rub that brought out the bison's natural flavors. Slowly smoked for 2 hours, the ribs absorbed the deep essence of the grill, their tender meat holding on to a hearty, earthy taste. The ribs were then wrapped in foil and bathed in beer, returning to the grill for another 2 hours to become even more tender and flavorful. Finally, a good barbecue sauce basting added a sweet, tangy twist that didn't overpower the bison's boldness, but balanced it beautifully. These smoky, juicy ribs became a highlight of family gatherings, filling the air with an irresistible aroma. Smoked bison ribs were a taste of tradition and a testament to outdoor cooking done right. Everyone at the table, young and old, eagerly anticipated the meaty, flavorful feast that Grandpa always knew how to deliver. Charcoal grilled catfish evokes memories of those old-fashioned Southern barbecue dinners that Grandpa always prepared.
That fish is done all the way through. It's perfectly white. It's got great texture. It's holding together well. And let's see how it tastes.
It was a simple yet flavorful dish that always impressed many. Whole catfish, seasoned generously with a blend of spices, was perfectly grilled over hot coals. The aroma of the fish slowly cooking over the fire was irresistible, filling the air with smoky goodness. The catfish always came out tender, its meat slightly crisp from the charcoal heat, but juicy inside. Grandpa would serve it up alongside hush puppies, golden crispy balls of fried cornmeal batter that were a perfect accompaniment. Each catfish bite was a delightful mix of bold seasoning and the fish's rich, earthy flavor. This classic dish was a highlight of family gatherings, a tradition passed down through the years. Grilled pork chops with a peach glaze weren't just any pork chops. They were thick-cut, bone-in beauties that packed a ton of flavor. Grandpa would season them with sea salt, black pepper, garlic, and onion powder. The secret, though, was in the glaze. Made from peach preserves, brown sugar, and a touch of apple cider vinegar, the glaze was a perfect balance of sweet and tangy. As the pork chops were grilled to a golden brown with those perfect grill marks, Grandpa prepared fresh peaches to accompany the dish. Grilled peaches added a smoky sweetness that brought the whole meal together. The smell of the sizzling pork and caramelizing glaze filled the air, making everyone's mouth water. It was a summer classic that brought comfort food to the table. The meal made everyone feel at home, gathering for good food and even better memories. Now, let's talk about the undisputed king of Southern coastal barbecue. In the day, smoked mullet was a Southern favorite that always made its way to the dinner table, especially in coastal towns. This simple yet flavorful fish barbecue dish was a staple for families, with mullet often being butterflied and soaked in a brine of salt, brown sugar, and capers. After a night of marinating, the fish would dry until a sticky pellicle formed on the surface, signaling it was ready for the smoker. Once smoked for a few hours, the mullet would emerge moist, tender, and flavorful. Served alongside creamy cheese grits, golden hush puppies, and often a tangy side of coleslaw, this meal embodied the essence of Southern comfort. Smoked mullet was a slice of tradition, particularly in northern Florida, where the dish was cherished as a local delicacy. Today, it still holds a nostalgic place in the hearts of those who grew up enjoying it, even if it's become a bit rarer to find. Grandpa always had lamb kebabs on the table, a savory dish that felt like a special treat every time. These skewers of marinated lamb chunks, grilled to perfection over hot charcoal, had a rich, smoky flavor long after the meal. The lamb was marinated in a blend of salt, red chili powder, ground cumin, and garam masala, with fresh lemon juice adding a subtle zing. The marinade soaked into the lamb overnight, ensuring each bite was soft and flavorful. Threaded on skewers and grilled until just right, the meat had a slight char on the outside while staying juicy inside. Served with a refreshing mint yogurt sauce and a warm pita bread or fluffy rice, these kebabs made every dinner feel like a feast. Grilled stuffed mushrooms were a staple at many family dinners, especially around the grill.
If you just cook these over direct low heat,
these large portobello mushrooms, filled with a savory mix of cheese, breadcrumbs, herbs, and sometimes ground meat, would be cooked over hickory smoke for a deep, rich flavor. The process started with cleaning out the mushroom caps and then stuffing them with a delicious blend of roasted red bell pepper, yellow onion, green chilies, and a brown pork sausage, all mixed with a bit of butter and garlic. Once stuffed, the mushrooms were soaked in a beef broth to add flavor and moisture. The final touch was a sprinkle of toasted panko breadcrumbs and a generous layer of Parmesan cheese. Grilled low and slow, these mushrooms would become soft and juicy with a smoky aroma that made them irresistible. The rich, cheesy filling and the smoky taste made these mushrooms a favorite at any barbecue. They transformed a simple mushroom into a delightful, eagerly anticipated, and thoroughly enjoyed dish. Who could forget the way Grandpa's barbecue quail turned every family dinner into an unforgettable feast? Barbecue quail was a special treat at family dinners, often appearing on Grandpa's table. These small game birds, marinated in a zesty barbecue sauce, were grilled over an open flame. The process would start with spatchcocking the quail, which meant cutting out the backbone and flattening the bird to ensure even cooking. The marinated quail was then grilled at high heat, giving them a deliciously crisp exterior while keeping the meat tender and juicy. After grilling, the quail was wrapped in foil and steamed briefly, making it incredibly moist and tasteful. Served as a unique alternative to chicken, barbecue quail was a delightful way to enjoy a hearty, flavorful meal without the heaviness of larger poultry. Grandpa's barbecue quail was more than just food. It was a cherished part of family gatherings, evoking nostalgia for those simple, joyful times around the dinner table. In the good old days, Grandpa's barbecue dinners always featured a special treat: grilled Cornish hens. These small game hens were seasoned with care and barbecued to perfection. The preparation involved rinsing the hens, breaking their breastbones to help them cook evenly, and seasoning them with herbs, spices, and garlic. Sometimes they were even stuffed with fresh herbs and lemon to enhance their flavor. The hens were cooked slowly on the grill, set to a low temperature. This method ensured that they were tender and juicy, with a crispy skin on the outside. Grandpa would carefully monitor the grilling process, turning the hens to ensure even cooking. After about an hour, the aroma of these grilled Cornish hens would fill the air, signaling a delicious meal was on the way. These hens, cooked with love and attention, made every barbecue dinner a memorable event, reflecting the warmth and care Grandpa put into every meal. This simple yet delicious dish became a cherished tradition, bringing families together around the table to enjoy a true taste of home. Now, imagine biting into a tender and flavorful turkey leg that instantly transports you to Grandpa's table. Maple glazed turkey legs were a cherished highlight at Grandpa's dinner table. These juicy turkey legs began their journey in a sweet and savory marinade of maple syrup, salt, pepper, garlic, and bay leaves, soaking overnight for deep flavor infusion. The next day, they were meticulously dried to ensure a crispy exterior. A gentle spray of olive oil helped achieve that perfect golden brown finish, while a generous coating of salt, pepper, garlic, and barbecue rub brought out a savory kick. Smoked over pecan wood at 275 degrees Fahrenheit, the turkey legs developed a rich, smoky flavor and a delightful texture. After nearly 2.5 hours on the grill, they received a light brush of vinegar barbecue sauce, enhancing their sweetness and adding a glossy sheen. The final result was a symphony of flavors: crispy, caramelized skin enveloping tender, flavorful meat. Grandpa's maple glazed turkey legs were more than just a meal. They were a nostalgic feast, evoking memories of family gatherings and timeless traditions. In days gone by, a special dinner always featured grilled elk steaks, a true delight for the taste buds. These thick, succulent steaks were seasoned simply with coarse salt and black pepper, allowing the pure flavor of elk to stand out. Cooked on a Weber kettle grill, the steaks were first seared in a hot cast iron skillet, creating an irresistible crust. The steaks sizzled in butter, garlic, and rosemary, infusing the meat with subtle layers of flavor while keeping the focus on the elk's natural richness. Each steak was cooked for 2 minutes per side and rested, ensuring a juicy, medium-rare center. When sliced, the elk steaks revealed a perfectly tender texture and a deep, savory taste that made each bite an unforgettable experience. This simple yet elegant preparation highlighted elk's unique taste, making grilled steaks a standout dish that left a lasting impression. At the heart of many memorable barbecues was the exquisite smoked duck breast, a dish that combined rich flavors with a touch of elegance. Duck breasts were first marinated in a harmonious blend of soy sauce, honey, and garlic, then smoked slowly to infuse them with a deep, complex taste. The preparation began with scoring the duck skin, delicate lines that allowed the seasoning and smoke to penetrate while keeping the meat intact. Seasoning was generous, with a distinctive smoked something rub or a simple mix of kosher salt and pepper for a Texas-style kick. The duck was placed in a pellet smoker preheated to 225 degrees Fahrenheit, with applewood used to enhance the flavor with a sweet, smoky note. It was smoked for 30 to 60 minutes until the internal temperature reached 115 degrees Fahrenheit. The duck was seared in a hot cast iron skillet for a crispy finish until it reached 131 degrees Fahrenheit. After a short rest under foil, it was sliced into tender, flavorful pieces. This smoked duck breast was more than a dish. It was a gourmet experience that turned any barbecue into a special occasion. However, nothing brought the family together like the smoky, tender goodness of Grandpa's famous barbecue goat. Barbecue goat was a true family favorite in the old days, especially on weekends. Grandpa would bring home a fresh goat shoulder, not lamb or mutton, and prepare it with a special marinade. He would blend spices into a smooth paste and rub it all over the meat, allowing it to soak up the flavors in the fridge for at least 2 hours. When the time came, he'd fire up the grill using charcoal and a few pieces of wood to achieve that perfect smoky touch. As the goat cooked over the open flame, Grandpa moistened it with a mixture of oily water and lemon juice, ensuring the meat stayed juicy and flavorful. Every few minutes, he'd turn the meat and spray it, ensuring it cooked evenly. After about 30 minutes, the goat was perfectly tender and infused with smoky goodness, ready to be served with a side of fermented cassava bread. It was a delicious tradition that everyone loved. Forget the hot oven and embrace the grill for a summer twist on stuffed peppers. Imagine bell peppers filled with a savory mix of ground beef, rice, and seasonings, then grilled to perfection. This old-fashioned barbecue dinner adds a smoky charred flavor perfect for summer. Grilling stuffed peppers brings a fresh, light touch to the table. The peppers turn tender with a crisp edge, ideal for warm months. For a healthier twist, swap ground beef for turkey or chicken, or try quinoa instead of rice. Customize the flavor with your favorite spices for a personal touch. Use foil to create a little boat to keep the peppers upright and intact, and this simple method transforms a classic comfort dish into a summertime favorite. Family barbecues were only complete with grilled shrimp skewers with pineapple. Large shrimp were carefully skewered with juicy pineapple chunks and grilled to perfection, blending sweet and savory flavors that delighted everyone. The shrimp were marinated with fresh herbs like parsley and cilantro, minced garlic, a splash of lemon juice, olive oil, and a hint of cayenne pepper for a slight touch of heat. Grandpa preferred using frozen shrimp for the best flavor and always chose flat stainless steel skewers to keep the shrimp from spinning around. Once grilled to a pink opaque finish with those signature char marks, the shrimp were served hot and often had everyone coming back for more. The tangy pineapple paired beautifully with the garlic herb shrimp, making these skewers a memorable favorite at every gathering. Once upon a time, family dinners often featured a special treat known as barbecue brisket with coffee rub. This classic meal involved beef brisket seasoned with a unique blend of coffee grounds, brown sugar, and spices, then slow cooked to perfection. The brisket was carefully trimmed while cold, ensuring easier handling and a better final texture. The rub was a mix of instant coffee, kosher salt, garlic powder, smoked paprika, black pepper, crushed coriander, chili powder, and cayenne pepper. This combination created a savory and slightly spicy crust that gave the meat a rich, complex flavor. Once seasoned, the brisket was smoked slowly until it reached the ideal tenderness. The result was a beautifully dark, flavorful bark on the outside, with the meat inside remaining juicy and tender. After resting for a few hours, the brisket was sliced against the grain, revealing a perfect balance of savory coffee notes and tender, succulent meat. This hearty, flavorful barbecue brisket was a centerpiece of cherished family meals, bringing warmth and satisfaction to every gathering. In those days, a special barbecue dish often made its way to the table: barbecue rabbit. This unique recipe offered a flavorful alternative to the usual chicken. The process began with rabbit legs marinated in lemon juice and salt and left to chill in the refrigerator for a tangy kick. The marinade blended garlic, ginger, olive oil, sambuca, smoked paprika, yellow curry, and black pepper, creating a rich and spicy flavor profile. After 2 hours of marinating, the rabbit was grilled to perfection, filling the air with a mouth-watering aroma of herbs and spices. Often served alongside crispy golden fries, this barbecue rabbit was more than just a meal. It was a cherished recipe that brought a unique taste to family gatherings and left a lasting impression on those who enjoyed it. Hickory smoked venison was the crown jewel of many family dinners. This savory dish started with marinating venison in a robust blend of spices, then slow smoking it over hickory wood. The result was a deep, gamey flavor that everyone loved. The preparation involved carefully removing the silver skin from the meat, a crucial step for achieving a tender and flavorful roast. Before cooking, the venison was soaked overnight to wash out any strong metallic taste. A rich marinade of Worcestershire sauce, red wine, and balsamic vinegar combined with barbecue rub was then applied. Slow cooking the venison ensured it was perfectly tender. This dish was celebrated for its smoky aroma and robust flavor, making it a favorite for sandwiches or as a side with classic mashed potatoes and asparagus. The meticulous preparation and delicious result made every meal memorable. filling the table with the comforting essence of home-cooked goodness.